You're listening to The Next 15, a podcast show for the binge listener covering random topics such as relationships, current news, and everyday life issues. My name is Trey North, and for the next few minutes, I hope to make you laugh, educate, and inspire you. Welcome to the Next 15 podcast show. This is Friday night. We're going to try this again. It's 7:15 and you still know what time it is. I'm Trey North and I thank y'all for tuning in and sticking with us. I have my esteemed co-host, Chris McAllister.
What's going on, everybody? You know how I like to say it. I'm glad to be back in the saddle once again.
And and just because this will be, this is a live show, we have a special guest, a co-host. He's a podcaster. He's an actor. He's my best friend. He's a husband. He's a father. He's Juan Alaman from the Wayback Podcast Show, and also, the Wrestling Wayback Podcast and the 80s Hour Show. Juan Alaman, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great. It's great to be here, and that we've got this going together, all three of us, is exciting to me. And this topic, man, when it came up, I was like, yeah, I need to talk about this. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's gratuity.
So I'm doing good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gratuity. Is it earned or expected? And I just want to say thank y'all for who are coming back in. We had a little technical difficulty. Thank you, loyal listeners, for listening in with the Next 15. I hope you are hearing us fine, loud and clear right now. We're talking about gratuity. Of course, that would be my computer making that noise, and I apologize. Gratuity. When dining in restaurants, should tipping be expected or earned by the server? We're going to let Juan start that over again.
All right. Well, I'm of the mindset, and I started this before when we originally started, and I'll say it again. I grew up in a family that didn't tip. If they tip, nobody told me. I didn't know anything about tipping, to be honest. I'd seen it in movies, you know. But I had a girlfriend who said, "Aren't you going to leave a tip?" And I was like, "What?" You know, a tip for the waiter. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then once I got married, I always leave tips. But I think they are earned tips.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, it's not just, oh, you get 20% because I give 20%. You know, there is a sliding scale there somewhere, my friends, and I use it because I think it's an earned thing. I don't think it's just, oh, I go to a restaurant, yeah, I tip, yeah. That's what you do because it's expected. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Chris?
You know what? I'm gonna follow right behind Mr. Alaman. I truly believe that when it comes to gratuity, it is earned. Like I was saying earlier, is I'm already paying for the food. Now I am paying for the service, and if the service isn't good, then I'm not tipping, and that might make me the bad guy. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm judging service the minute I walk into the door.
Yeah.
If I just want to come in and sit down and eat something, I'll go to McDonald's. But if I'm coming into a pristine restaurant and that has a high regard for quality and service, and I don't receive that, I'm not paying for that. I've walked into places and paid or given a tip to the chef and not the waiter because the food was immaculate, but the service was horrible.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I agree, Juan. I believe the tip is earned and not deserved.
Okay.
There you
Or
go.
not expected. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna third that motion. I believe that tips should not be expected. One thing that you said that I kind of have a little difference is you said that you're paying for when you go in, you're paying for the service. You've already paid for the food and you're paying for the service. See, to me,
right.
when I hear that, that's almost as if it's expected. and not earned. So the way I look at it is just a little slight difference. I understand what you're saying in the context that you're using, but I don't feel like when I tip, I'm paying for the service. You know, I feel like you should already be customer service oriented anyway. You know what I mean? So some stuff should be going on. Yeah. The customer service that, you know, it should be already outstanding when I come and eat, whether it's a pristine restaurant or it's just a regular, I don't want to name a name, but just a regular, every casual restaurant.
Mom and pop shop.
Mom and pop shops. I feel like the tip is going to be earned, but it's going to be over and above the service that I'm already expecting to happen. You know what I mean? I'm coming to sit down. You're supposed to bring me my food. You're supposed to bring me something to drink. That's what that's what I expect. Since you're going to expect the tip, I expect you to do that. And if you don't do that, guess what? If the food is good, I'm like you, Chris. I will be asking who's the chef, and I will be giving the tip to the chef. Now that might not be proper or kosher, but it's pretty much how it's going to go in my book.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it sounded like I was on a tangent, didn't it? It sounded like I was going in.
Yeah, sounds like you dealt with this before, bro. You were never a waiter, were you?
No, absolutely not. But I've dealt
You know
with
what, Trey?
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Trey, there's a story that I have about a friend. I don't know if you know him or not. We were at a restaurant called, I won't say the name of the restaurant or anything. It was when we were in college.
Okay.
And the service had been exceptionally bad.
Right.
Exceptionally bad. And, I was like, well, I'm just not going to leave anything. Let's just go. And unbeknownst to me, my friend did leave something. And my friend was hoping that we got back to the... Yeah, he knows who it is. And unbeknownst to me, my friend left something, and he was hoping we got back to the car before the waitress got there. Well, we did not make it to my car before the waitress got back there, and she saw what he left, 1 penny.
Boy. Boy, that is something else.
Now the service was wrong. She was serving people, I don't want to pull the race card, but a brown and a black dude weren't getting much service in there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think, and then it was like a bunch of like older dudes like standing around her like, we'll go get them, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, but yeah. She was screaming at him through the window and holding up the penny and threw it down. And I was like, man, you were just wrong for that.
Okay. Whoever that was. Okay, it was me. It was me. The service.
It sounded like it. It sounded like it. You didn't have to tell me anything.
Listen, he failed to mention that we was trying to hurry up and get in the car, and we didn't make it. She threw me the finger, bro.
Yep.
She threw me the finger.
Old flying bird.
She sure did. She threw me the finger, but the service was horrible. Yes. Hey, hey, Marissa Serrato. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Marissa. Thank you so
Marissa.
much. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but that's a true story. But, I work hard for my money. And so if I tip, man, it's going to have to be earned. It's got to be definitely earned. Exactly. Who is that in the background? Somebody's drawing? I don't know what's going on in the background. I hear a bunch of background noise. But anyway, he was like, you whooping your kids, Chris? Oh, hey, T. Hosey. T. Hosey's in the chat room. T. Hosey's saying this.
Hey, T.
T. Hosey says a tip is based on the mindset of the one who serves. If you expect it, work for it. If you do not expect it, your actions will show it. That's a good insight, T. Hosey. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to determine whether you get that tip or not.
Exactly. It's going to be my determination if your actions show it or not.
Exactly. And you might show it. It might not get nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You might think you're doing an excellent job, and I'm gonna be like, "That's piss poor service."
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
No, I agree with T. Hosey. I think it's both ways. But you know, and like T. Hosey said, if they're gonna expect it, you know, and I think the expectations. Now let's take I don't know if anybody's out there have served before in the chat room, hit us up. But I would think, and I haven't served before in that manner. But if I'm gonna be a server, I'm gonna serve with excellence, and I'm gonna do my best, you know, to make that happen. But listen. You're supposed to bring me that plate. You're supposed to bring me, you know, there's certain things that I expect. You know, I expect my food order to be right. I expect, you know, that my glass is full. And if you do the basic minimum, then that's fine. I'll give you the minimum. You know what I mean? But if you go over and above, then you might get something extra, you know?
Okay, I have a question, and this is just an honest question. Okay. Like you said, you know, they're supposed to bring you your plate. They're supposed to keep your glass full. Right. You know, they're supposed to remember your order, right? Right. But I go on top of that also. You're supposed to bring me my plate with a smile on your face. You're supposed to bring me fill my glass up with a great attitude. Like I shouldn't have to call you to come fill my glass up. You know, when, you know, every, 15, 20 minutes, I'm looking up and you're nowhere to be found. Right. To fill my cup. And then it's the attitude again that you carry, that you do stuff. You could do all of that with the wrong attitude. Right. Now, again, this is personally me, and I'm not going to do it. Like, it's just, and I get, I know people, the benefit of the doubt, people have bad days, and I get that. But at the end of the day, if you're doing it with a bad attitude, it's hard for me. And I'm not going to say that I won't, because I have done it before, simply because, I had to think on the opposite end, or maybe they were just having a bad day. You know what I mean? But it is hard for me to tip somebody who does their job, but does it with the wrong attitude.
I agree.
You know what, Chris? I'm sorry, Trevor.
Go ahead.
Trey. Now, what I was going to say, Chris, is along with that mindset or with that phrase of, maybe I'm having a bad day. Well, you only get one time to make a first impression.
Correct.
Okay? So they got that moment when you get seated and they say your server will be right over to make that impression on you. Yeah. So even if they're having a bad day, I mean, there were plenty of times, Trey and I used to work at a grocery store chain together. There were plenty of times that we didn't feel like, doing this, but you smile, you bag groceries, you smile, you ring up groceries, you smile, you do whatever. Right. Because it's that first time that, to make that first impression. Yeah. And you're not, and there, when we bagged groceries back then, we made $3.35 an hour.
Oh God, don't remind me
tips,
of that.
Yeah, and tips were awesome. There was one lady that every Christmas would tip $20, and everybody just climbed all over themselves to get to her. Yep. And and there were people that would tip you or talk to you about football in town or whatever. But if you did your job with a smile, they recognized it, and $1 or $2 adds up.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
But you get that one time to make that first impression.
I agree. I tell you what, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll stay on this subject. When we come back, we're going to talk about the percentage of the tip that you give when we come back on the Next 15 podcast show. Hey, it's Trey North, and I want to personally thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode. If you're enjoying the podcast, please share this with your friends right now so they can tune in and enjoy the same programming as you are. tell them to go to www.spreaker.com and search the Next 15 and join our live podcast so they can interact with all of the listeners, including me and my co-host Chris McAllister. Don't forget to check out our brand new and redesigned website at next15podcast.com, where you can find our current and past episodes and even listen to the live show right from your browser. You can also find inspirational blogs written by my mom, Stella B. North. But that's not all. We've just added a review and comment section where you can provide feedback and suggestions about the show. Again, thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the podcast. You're listening to the Next 15 Podcast Show with Trey North on Spreaker.com. And we're back on the Next 15 Podcast Show talking about gratuity. Is it earned or is it expected? And I have my co-host Chris McAllister and special guest co-host Juan Alaman from the 80s Hour and the Wrestling Way Back Podcast Show. Way back.
Yeah.
Here's a way back. Welcome back for you. Okay, what are you going to do, brother? You going to tip them or not?
Want to thank everybody that is listening online. I see you, Rod. I see you, T. Hosey. Thank you so much for joining in. And Erica Vargas, thank you so much for tuning in to us tonight. T. Hosey, I noticed that he had a comment when we was on the break. Yeah. So he's saying this is why he wanted to shed light on the mindset of the server. We are all servers in this life and do not always get what we feel we are worth. That's true. I agree with that, which is why the mindset is so important. Your attitude determines your worth. All you need is one good tip. That's true. That's true. I agree with that.
Which is the reason why I'm going to tip that person in words of advice is don't walk down a dark alley at night if you have a bad attitude. Like those. I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
So I have another question then. When you tip, do you tip based on what you feel, or do you go with the percentage of the bill? Like what percentage of the bill do you or should you tip your server? Or is there like a flat rate, or do you automatically just tip out of courtesy and or obligation? Because I think most people do that out of obligation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, me, I'm gonna, I usually stay within the 15 to 20%. If the service is decent, and all that good stuff, you're talking, 15, 20%, right? But if you're going above and beyond, man, like I've actually matched the bill before. You know what I mean?
Oh wow!
Like I've actually no. No, but seriously, yeah. But I've actually matched the bill before. And that's if you need that one server that was just excellent all the way through from beginning to end. But yeah, I'm gonna say that 15 to 20%, man, is really the standard, I guess, if that's right.
I always wondered who set that standard, by the way. You know what I mean? Because you get it on you get it when you get your ticket to be like 15, 20, 25. Like, I think that's so rude. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think it's so rude to put that on there. I mean, if I'm going to tip, I'm going to tip.
I agree with you, Trey.
Yeah, I'm going to give you what I want to give you in the first place. Why do I need you to tell me the percentage that I should, like it's a contract,
Right.
That's just me. I don't know. What do you think about that, Juan?
Well, I do agree with you on that. And you got to check the math on those sometimes, because sometimes they just make up a number. 15% is $90. That sounds good. That's the ticket. Not that bad, but it may be a few cents off in their favor.
Yeah.
So you got to watch that kind of stuff. I don't automatically go with what's on there. Typically, when I first started tipping, again, that was a foreign thing to me. When I first started tipping, it was a flat like $5. Wow. I'll give whoever $5. I didn't really eat expensive places because, that was just me. As the older I've gotten, it starts at 20%. Honestly, it'll start at 20% at the beginning of the night,
Okay.
and they can work their way down from there.
So you are.
I mean,
Use a boy. So when it's like
I know,
a cab, huh?
but I mean
You just-
that's more than fair. I think 20. I've gone beyond 20% if somebody's
Okay.
been outstanding.
Right.
So that it can get better, but it can get worse.
Okay.
You know, you come and look at me like, you need another glass of water.
Right.
Oh, you need $1 or less. Check.
So you start chipping away, huh?
I start chipping away at the old tip jar. But, yep.
But that's interesting. I never looked at it that way. I know Rod says if the service is above and beyond, then more than 15. And Teosi says you tip based on your wallet first or your budget first.
That's true.
I get you.
Because,
I get you.
yeah, when I was starting dating, that was the thing. You know, those groceries.
Yeah.
They didn't buy a lot of big meals.
Right.
Because they weren't my groceries. I was putting them in somebody else's car, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
So when that pay came and somebody's like, let's go to dinner, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
How does this sound? No. Oh, man. I'm going to be broke again.
Oh, man. Andrea said that sometimes and both Andrea and Rod was made a comment that they don't like when restaurants add 18% to the bill for large parties. And Andrea kind of basically said the same thing is added when you have a certain number of people. What do you say to that? Because that's now you're obligating me to tip. You're forcing me to tip even if the service is bad. So now what do we do? That's a good point to bring up, guys.
I'd break up my group.
Yeah, I'm arguing that one.
Okay.
If the service is bad, if the service is bad, now if the service is good, because if I have a large party, then I would think that you would put one of your best waiters
Come on.
At that table. You see what I'm saying?
That's real.
Now if you give me a waiter and I have a large party of let's just say 10, okay? That would be considered a large party. If you have a table of 10 individuals and you put, you know, your best waiter who's kind of hustling and bustling, you know, at that point, then that 18% I have no problem with. And I'm probably going to go a little bit higher than that because you were able to deal with 10 individuals. But if you give me somebody who again, don't want to be at that table and, again, can't, you know, we got a bunch of messed up orders or you don't want to change what needs to be changed, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm going to management at that point. And I'm not paying the 18 or whatever you added on there, which is 18 or 20. I'm like, you know what? I mean, I might give a tip, but it won't be the 18 or what you're asking for.
Right.
So if that means the bill don't get paid all the way, that's on you, not me.
That reminds me of a news story I saw out of New York a few years ago that a party had gotten really bad service, and they said, "No, we're not going to pay 18%. I'll pay you 10%, but that's it." That's what they left, and then the company tried to sue them, saying that they robbed them of that money.
Oh,
no, because it's gratuity.
That tip. Right. That's what the people came back and said. That's gratuity. That's not what is that on the menu? Is gratuity on the menu?
Yeah.
And they came back and said, well, it says parties of this and over are going to be charged 18%. Yeah. And they said, with that type of service, no. So I never saw the end of it. But they said basically what you said. Gratuity is just that, gratuity for the service.
Right.
They got bad service. They weren't going to pay the 18%, only left a certain amount, and it just became a big ruckus.
I mean, I paid for the food, but I didn't pay you for the service. You know, and if I'm paying for something, then I'm expecting to get it. So in that regards, if I'm having to pay for a tip, then I'm gonna determine the customer service level or the customer
Definitely.
service, how good it was. You can't determine that for me,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with that. That's crazy, man.
Right.
I got something that just came to my mind. What do you guys think about like some of these restaurants that leave a tip cup for just taking the order? Have you ever been to any of those?
No.
I've been to restaurants like that.
Yes, and I disagree. I disagree because now we live in the age of Uber Eats. We live in the age of DoorDash and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have ordered this online and came here and sat down and ate. You know what I mean? So taking my
Right.
order
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to me is like, no, that's
what,
no more. And again, yeah, that's a different day and age at that point.
Yeah, I'm like, well, in order for you to make money, I have to walk up here and give you my order. Why do I need to pay you to take my order?
Take my order, right?
That's crazy, man.
That's going to be a hard no for me.
Absolutely. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. And another reason why, again, like I was talking about, you have the Uber Eats and the DoorDash and all these other places, but even there, they automatically add 10% on for the driver. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that because at that point, it's not about attitude. It's to me because
that's convenience.
At that point, it's convenience.
Yeah.
Like exactly. So there's a lot of people that it starts at 10%, and you can go up to like 50%. After you order online, and usually I'm still within that 10 to 20%. Because it's convenient for me to be at home,
right?
And you bring me my food. You can have an attitude all day. I don't have to see your face, but for 5 seconds after you drop my food off.
Well, I mean, just like you said, it is convenience. But here's the thing: that's a service for me to bring you my food. I'm a waiter. That's a service. I'm coming from wherever I'm coming, and I'm bringing you. You're paying for that service as well as that food because you're too lazy or you just don't want to get out. So I agree with that. I mean, we pay for convenience, and that's a different. To me, that's a fee, not a tip. That's how I look at it in that regard. Yeah,
I got you.
Rod says he's recalled eating at a restaurant where the waiters changed shifts during our dining. Needless to say, the service was terrible. See, now who do you tip then?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Myself.
Like one of the greatest the waiter or waitress was there, and then they changed shift, and then you get some horrible crackhead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sorry. I should have said it like that.
But I know exactly what you mean.
I'm just saying.
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what? I want to get the callers involved in this. The 512-827-9164. That number is 512-827-9164. If you want to call in and give your comment or your opinion, please do call us right here at the next 15. We'll be glad to hear from you. But yeah, man, that's crazy. What do you got on that note too? Let me just throw this one to you. What about the what do you call them? The valet parkers. Do you think they should get a tip because they're?
Oh yeah.
You think they should?
They should get tipped because
why?
You don't tip those guys, or they start knowing that you're a non-tipper. You're going to get
come up missing.
No, not stuff comes up missing, but little
dings,
chips and dinks in your car, and they're like, "Sorry, sir, we can't control that." They can put you in a better parking spot.
So wait a minute. So I'm paying you not to scratch up my car.
Well, that would be.
Did he say that?
Well,
he's just like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We'll keep a special eye out on your car."
But that's what you get paid
guys,
for to do.
Back in the 70s and 80s when they had like the sports cars, and they'd be like, "Keep an eye on her, kid."
But that's a service though. Like your job is to park cars. Your job is to take a car. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yep.
are you saying one? Are you saying one that just like the valet, I'm paying for them not to chip my
That's
car?
what I was
I
saying.
should be. I should be
Yep.
tipping the waiters so they won't spitting my food the next time I walk in here. Is that what you're telling
Have
me,
you
Bud? Because
watched Have you watched the
yeah,
movie Waiting? That's terrible
yes,
what they do to people's food. Oh,
yes,
No,
yes,
man.
I have. Listen,
when
I was
they
a waiter
return it.
for about.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that I was a waiter for about 30 days at Red Lobster. It was the only time I was ever a waiter. And literally, I'm going to be very honest with you. I do respect the profession of waiting because with waiters, like I could not memorize the menu and at that time they were using a shorthand for their ordering service. So everything on the menu, there was a certain shorthand that you would use at Red Lobster. And I couldn't, and I tell you, I couldn't remember it to save my life. And there was a young lady who started out the same day I did, and that was the first thing that she did. She remembered she remembered the menu and had the shorthand down and all that good stuff. So after
Wow.
almost about 30 days, after about 30 days, I went to management. I went to my store manager. And I turned in my my clerk was like, thank you for the opportunity, sir. This is not going to work out. I don't want to be the reason why your business closed down is because you have a horrible waiter. And so I knew I would never get any tips. That's how I felt. Like
Yeah.
there's no way I'm going to make any extra money
Wow.
because I'm horrible at this thing. And
Yeah.
so I'm not used to taking orders. I'm used to giving them. So there you go. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think when it comes, Rod says, I wish you would chip the paint on my vehicle. Absolutely. See, that's my thing. Like when you say when you said that, absolutely, and you use that example one about little dings or whatnot. My thing is, hey, you're just parking a car, bruh. You know what I mean? Like why should I be obligated to give you a tip for just parking my car? You park cars. Did you wash my car when I got it back? Now, if you came back and my wheels had armor all on it and everything, the outside was clean, then yeah, I'm gonna spot you something. But I don't know, man.
Right.
I see some of this stuff, man. I think that tipping is just it's I
It's
guess
gone too far.
yeah, it's gone too far. It's I don't know if customary or it's just a way of life. It's just people do it because they just do it. You know what I mean? To tip, I don't even think it's
Right.
just out of generosity, out of their hearts. You know what I mean? I don't think it's
I
like that
agree.
anymore. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Give us a call at 512-827-9164 if you want to comment or discuss anything. If you have any comments, I'm loving this, guys. This is a pretty good topic,
Yeah.
to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As I agree. Another one would be a bellhopper or somebody that's No, I even got a better one. I'm sorry, the sky cap when you go drop your luggage off.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Why do we tip a sky cap and then to put? You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
Like you're supposed to take my luggage, tag it, and put it on the plane. Why am I tipping you for doing
Right.
that? See, some of these things I don't agree with. Now I agree with with waiters and waitresses because I don't think they make a whole lot of money. And I mean,
Right.
to be truthful, you chose that profession. But I'm just saying, I will tip you for your service if it's good. But bruh, you're supposed to either park my car or put my luggage where it needs to go. I don't think you deserve a tip for doing your job. Like for just doing
Right.
your job, even with a waitress, or waiter, just doing your job. If you go over and above, fine. But some of these are just going way too far for me. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I'm Scrooge or something.
Right.
I
No. I think, and I
Ebenezer.
get it. That's hilarious. But no, I agree. I agree with you, Trey. I think that we've taken, something that was coming from the heart,
Right.
and something that was, again, something that was being earned,
right,
to the extent of it being, people have the feeling of it being like I deserve this. Like, no, you
right.
don't. You
Entitled.
have to earn it. Yeah, the entitlement, because like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost like won. It was a minute before I even, first of all, knew about gratuity. Second of all, understood gratuity.
Mm-hmm.
I was a grown man. I was in my mid to late 20s before I was like, yeah, I understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, here we go. I understand gratuity. You know how many restaurants I had eaten at, and when I was done eating, like, well, that was great, and had a great server, and didn't pay that great server
Yeah.
a dime.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, not knowing that they made $2.50 an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. But yeah. And so what I begin to understand at that point, I think we've taken it to the point where, now you're tipping buggy boys outside of Walmart for pushing buggies. Like, no,
Right.
that's your job, dude.
Yeah.
Your job is to get out here in the rain and push all 800 buggies back in the store. That's what they're paying you to do.
Absolutely.
I'm not paying you to take this, right? I'm not paying you to take this buggy back in there. And I'm going to leave it right out here in Timbuktu for you to come out here and find it.
Well, you're something else. Hey, everybody, we just want to get let your opinions come in on the show. 512-827-9164. Give us a call. If we don't pick up, it's because we had somebody on hold, or they dropped the call, or we just didn't answer. We was talking. I'm sorry about that. but 512-827-9164. We want to know, do you guys tip out of courtesy or obligation? Give us a call. Let us know. We're going to take a break right quick, another quick commercial break, and when we come back, and hopefully we'll have a caller. If not, we'll begin to wrap things up. But we'll see you guys right back here on the next 15.
Hey there, this is Juan Alaman, host of the 80s Hour and also the Wrestling Wayback Podcast, both on Spreaker.com. So if you found the Next 15 podcast with Trey North, then you can find me. And also check out my new movie, Chased. It's on Vudu, Fandango, Amazon, Comcast. Wherever you find your favorite movies digitally, you can find Chased. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.
And we're back on the Next 15 podcast show. Hold on one second, everybody. We do have a caller. Welcome to the Next 15 podcast show. Caller, who am I speaking with and where you calling from?
Yo, this is Rod Garrett calling from Houston. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, Ron, how's it going, man?
What's going on, Rod?
Hey, it's going great,
Rod.
man. Hey, hey, what's going on, Juan, my man? Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, man. Hey, I got a question. So,
Okay.
what do y'all think about? What do y'all think about when you dine at a restaurant where the waiter comes and takes your order, but you have to go to the counter to pay your bill, and then there's a tip line on the counter. Now, granted, the waiter will refill your water, but you order from the menu, they bring you your food, they refill your water, but nothing else. And so then when you go to the counter to pay, there's a tip line on the bill.
That's a good one. Who wants to take that one first? Juan,
I
let's
will.
let you take it.
Yeah, I would say I would definitely tip for that because the person is refilling my drink. I could go fill up water if I wanted to, but usually in those restaurants, they'll also bring you like there's your spoon and fork and knife or whatever you're going to be using, your utensils. If you have soup, they'll bring you soups. I have no problem with that kind of tip because generally those are divided up amongst everybody in the restaurant. So, yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Is that fair though? I mean, I get what you're saying, Juan, because there's a restaurant that I go to. I have frequently go to not frequently, but every now and then go to, and I can't pay the bill until I get up and walk out. But I still tip if the service is good. I'm still gonna tip them. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think it's good to do that. I mean, if your service was good, but if not, again, we're back to square one again. You're gonna earn this money because I work hard for my money. You know what I mean? And I'm in expectation just like you are. You're expected a tip, and I'm expecting to get that service. It's gonna be a fair exchange. But
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Absolutely agree. Like I don't want everybody to think that I'm a tight fist because I'm not. I'm very generous, but you're gonna work exactly like Trevor said. You're gonna work for this tip, okay? Like I have no choice to pay for the food,
right?
But I am not paying for any service. I don't care in what form it comes in. I'm not paying. It can come on a gratuity line. It can come from I'm not paying it, man. Like if it's not good service, I am not paying it. Like I will walk out of there. Like you gonna have to. You will have to arrest me because I'm not paying. If it's not good service, and I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm not gonna explain why I'm not paying you. Like that's ridiculous. Like that's foolish to me. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you trying to do. No, absolutely. So do I agree with it? No, I'm not paying that. Like I'm not doing that. Because at that point, it's like, so everybody's tipping the same person when he probably or she probably didn't even get to everybody. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There you go.
There you have it, Rod.
All right. As always, man. Love the show. One, man, it's good to hear your voice, man. And, man, great topic, guys. Hey, man. Great. Always great talking to you guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much for calling, man. We appreciate you. Bro.
Thank you, Rod. It's good to hear your voice.
All right, likewise. Y'all take care, brother.
All right, man. You too, man. Well, there you go, man. But that was a good one. I did like that. I like what he had to offer. If anybody else want to call in at 512-827-9164, yeah. Wait a minute. T. Hosey says, what other forms of service is Chris talking about? I hope it's just bringing the food.
Well, everybody has a pass, I guess.
Whatever.
You know what? This topic has made me feel like I'm a bad guy. Maybe I need to tip more.
I think you do.
Maybe it is. You know what? Is sometimes we're the problem. Maybe our expectations are high.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
We've been. Can I play the advocate? Because we've been coming from the consumer. If we got any former or existing servers or waiters or waitresses out there that are listening to the show right now, give us a call at 512-827-9164. Let's hear it from your point of view. And while we're doing that, I want to defend them for 1 second. Because sometimes we talk about the attitude of the server, but sometimes people walk in there as a customer with an attitude as well. And so, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how great the service is, but you're dealing with snooty and bougie folk that come in there already with a chip on their shoulder or I'm greater than because, than you serve me. I'm your master, and then they run you all over the place and then they don't leave anything. Stand by. Matter of fact, stand by. We got a call that's coming in right now. We're going to see what this caller does to address this. Welcome to the Next 15 podcast show. This is Trey North. Who am I speaking to and where you calling from?
You're speaking to Andrea from Austin.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Okay.
Hey.
What are your comments?
Okay, so I used to, 16 worked at Sonic.
Okay.
So, of course, everybody knows that you have the option to tip the waitress when they bring your food to your car.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So when you at 16 working, you're going to get paid $5 an hour.
Okay.
And then plus your tips. So you're serving the food. So me, I'm like, oh, I'm expecting it, because you're bringing out food in weather conditions.
But that's your
So
job.
it's raining, so it's raining. You have your poncho on, and you have their food covered under the poncho so it don't get wet by the time you get to the car. But so when it's weather conditions, I say it's expected. It was expected for me. But any other time, it's based off my customer service. So if anybody know me, I'm happy-go-lucky. But so that's my opinion on that side.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you want to take it, Chris? Because I know you itching.
Well, I got one question, ma'am. I got one question, Miss Andrea. So when you were doing this, did you do it on skates or rollerblades?
No, I had tennis shoes on.
I'm done.
So because if you
Now she gonna give you a show. You looking for roll bounce?
Because if you did it on skates or rollerblades, I don't care what the weather is, you deserve a tip, ma'am. You understand?
But no, it was not. It was not on skates or rollerblades.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
So every time I go to Sonic now, I tip because I know, I was there before. I was there once before.
Okay.
So I still do it.
Okay, now you have a different type of restaurant because we're gonna call Sonic a fast food restaurant. Would y'all agree, guys, gentlemen, listeners?
Yes, sir.
I pay to drive up and get my food, and I'm gonna pay for it. I'm not gonna get out my car and walk in there because there's no way I can walk in there. So why should I tip you?
Some of them can.
Okay, touche. But why would I pay you a tip for bringing out? This is another one. I'm sorry. This is another one where I think it's just people just do it because it's like almost like a fad. Like, I expect you to bring out my food. What could you possibly do extra other than hand me my bag and my mint and my receipt? I mean, I'm just playing both sides because you got people that think like that.
Okay.
Now.
So
now, if it's a kid, I don't know.
when you get to the car,
if somebody grown,
well, coming to the car, right? Okay. So when you get to the car, hello, sir, how you doing today? You repeat the order, and then you tell them the total. You give them their food. Standard. And then you give them their change. So if you have a smile on your face, you in this cheerful mood, then, you can tell how that person day been going. But if you just, all like, hey, how you doing? And, this is your order. Your total such and such.
So
you had a rough day.
So this is a tip that's expected and it's not earned. Pretty much.
Exactly.
Right. I'm sorry.
I agree.
You see how I lured her into that, y'all?
The only difference between that and any other fast food restaurant is that they have a drive-through window. The reason why you're walking up to me is because you don't have a drive-through window. I don't want you walking up to my car. I don't know who you are. I need a barrier between you and my vehicle, but there isn't one. So now you have to walk up.
Let me to my listeners who might be scared in their boots, not wanting to call in for now. Listen, Andrea is a sometimes co-host on our show who happened to be on the last episode of The Great Debate. So this is why we're giving her a hard time. We won't do you guys like that. We'll just do her because we're prejudiced just against her because she lost The Great Debate both times. Go back and listen to it. And so she gonna mess around here and call here knowing we gonna jump on her. Anyway, thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, Juan, I watched your show.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations on your new movie.
Thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Andrew, for
You're
calling.
welcome.
You've lost another debate. We'll talk to you next time on the next 15. Have a good night.
Oh, God.
Boy, you joker. Bye.
Oh man. That's a great.
That's funny.
I know it's been so much fun tonight. Let's talk about Juan's new movie. Yes, Andrea.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for segueing us into that. My boy Juan Alaman, like I said earlier, he's not only a good friend and a father and a husband and a podcaster. He's also an accomplished actor who's has a movie that just came out this week. Juan, you want to talk about that movie?
Sure. It came out August 18th, released by, I think it was purchased by Summerhill Films, but it's been released now. I purchased it on Vudu for myself. It's on Fandango, Amazon Prime, Comcast, if you have Comcast cable, and among others.
Okay.
And the movie, if you look on IMDb, had about a $200,000 budget.
Wow, $250,000.
Wow.
Okay.
Just under, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Nice.
it was the guys you see on there. We were together for about 2 weeks filming this. We everything you see in the movie is located here in Western Washington. There are some segments that are near Mount St. Helen, which is southern Washington.
Oh, wow.
Southwestern Washington, I guess I should say. But the rest of it was in about within 40 minutes of where I live in Puyallup, Washington,
Wow.
which made it very easy to go shoot most days. You don't want to get up, but you have to some days. And we were out in the woods and just, playing around like kids, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I got some behind the scenes photos given to me by Mr. Bob Freeman.
Okay.
So I'll probably have those up on my page when I update it at the beginning of September. I'm rebranding everything. That's why I'm down right now till the beginning of September.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the movie. Oh, sorry. I just
No
hit my
problem,
watch.
man. How can they? What's the website? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but tell everybody the website.
For Chaste, it is...
no, for your website. You say you're going to put the pictures up.
Oh, my website is pretty easy. www.juanalaman2.com. juanalaman.com.
Okay. Go ahead. I mean
And I'll have pictures up there soon.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for letting me talk about that.
No, man.
I had such a great time filming it. I have another film that's in the can. Hopefully it'll come out soon.
Okay.
It's completely different to Chaste. It lets me show a different side of myself that I've never really done on film before. So it's a drama, kind of suspenseful drama.
Wow. Okay.
So, Juan,
Yeah.
do you do your own
Yes.
stunts?
If you see me move around, you know that I don't do stunts. There's a photo. There's a photo I showed Trey, or I gave to Trey, and it's of me standing like on a log where the sheriff has been, and I'm supposed to jump off this log athletically, is what they told me. It took like 6 takes, and he said, "We'll just go with that one."
Just stand there.
Just stand there. No, but I jumped off of it. I mean, I slid down and I was like half a foot from the ground, and I was like, bam! I hit the ground all like Batman, and but he said, "We'll just go with that one. Let's just go." But there's just some things that you find out on set that you're better at than, or that you enjoy doing about acting.
Yeah.
My thing is going out there and just letting loose and being somebody different for a day, remembering those lines, and when somebody mentions them to you, it's kind of funny that the ones they remember.
Yeah.
Because Roadrunner doesn't talk that much, so
Roadrunner
that's
is
my
your
character.
character. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
nice.
Awesome, man. So, man, yeah, I went ahead and bought it. I know you can rent it on. I have Amazon. I could have rented it, but I went ahead and bought it. So I wanted to support
Nice.
my fellow classmate, my fellow podcaster, my brother. I wanted to support him, and I'm asking everybody to do the same. And whatever your movie watching platform is, you can get it available. It's Chase, the 2020. Because I looked up Chase, and there was some other movies called Chase, but I typed in Chase 2020. And it came up perfectly fine, and I enjoyed watching the show, man. You did a great job, and I really enjoyed it, man. Thank you so much, man, for even just sharing that with us online. You're also, let's plug in your podcast. You have a couple of podcasters, if am I correct?
Yes, and they're both on Spreaker. Like I mentioned in that little commercial that we did, if you can find the Next 15 podcast with Trey North, you can find the 80s Hour. Just go to Spreaker.com, type in the 80s Hour, 80S, or Wrestling Way Back Podcast. And they're both available all over. So if you just want to look around, like on iTunes, if that's where you go to get your podcasts or wherever, you can get the 80s Hour, or you can get the Wrestling Wayback podcast. Now, the 80s Hour is all about, well, I feel kind of dumb saying this, but it's all about the 80s. But it's my take on it, and it's different every week. It could be music, it could be cartoons, it could be, kind of a spotlight on a person or a spotlight on a movie. Wrestling Wayback podcast is all about 70s, 80s, and 90s in wrestling, and wrestlers that I liked back then, and some of my favorites. Like recently, his name is, I believe his first name is Richard, last name Harris. You might not recognize that name, but do you recognize the name Kamala? Yeah. He passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure
Kamala
did.
passed away. Yeah. And so I posted something about that. That's the kind of stuff I do. Wrestlers from his date and time in Mid-South and World Class Championship Wrestling, and even the WWF at that time, now the WWE and WCW, all those I cover pretty much every single week. I pick like a wrestler to talk about. Bruiser Brody is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He passed away in 1988.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I enjoy. I thrive on just enjoying my time in front of the microphone and entertaining others if I can do it.
Okay. All right. Well, there you heard it from the man. He's a couple of podcast shows. He's an accomplished actor and all-around good guy. If y'all get a chance, please make sure that you're listening to him on Spreaker. He's part of the Spreaker family. Want to thank everybody for listening in. I just got to say this comment before we go. Andrea, I hope you're listening, still listening. Ty Hosey says, I would always tip Sonic workers based on the skills of their skating. If you look like a beginner, no tip. If you were a seasoned vet, you get a tip. You got to be a savage on those skates. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Ty Hosey has been a faithful listener. The last couple of times, he's actually called it on the show a hilarious guy who's soon going to be on our show. Actually, we're trying to book him for next Friday. So if you guys are listening next Friday, we're going to try to book T. Hosey on the show. So T. Hosey, I'll put you on the spot. I hope you can make it. Man, this has been I've had a really, despite our little technical difficulties, I've had a great time on this show tonight. Thank you so much, Juan, for joining us on the Next 15 tonight. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you for having me very much.
Yeah, and of course,
Thank you so much.
I'd be remiss if I didn't give my boy Chris McAllister, my co-host, a shout out, man. Thank you so much. I know you're at home, you're not in the studio, but thank you for what you do, man. And Chris, you're not just a podcaster either. You're a pastor.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. I do the podcast, man, because I love podcasting with Trey, but also I have a calling that I do, and that's being the senior pastor of Life Changers Church here in the great city of Austin, Texas. And due to, the pandemic that's going on, you can catch us every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Via Facebook at LCC Austin or online on our website, which our sermons are broadcast on our website also. Excuse me, at www.lifechangersaustin.com, and the sermons are posted there. If you want to hear a great word from God that will change your life, you want to go ahead, man, and tune in. Again, at Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m.
Oh, man, that's great. Yes, man. I listen to, I'm a member of the church, so I know we getting that word from Pastor Chris, man. I just want to thank you so much, man, for all that you do, man. Just not just,
no problem.
As my pastor, and then also as a best friend, man, for doing the podcast with me. I really appreciate it, man, that you're doing that for me, man.
No problem at all, man.
Want to give a shout out to everybody that listened tonight. Thank you so much. You'll never get back this hour of your time, but you spend it with us, and we really do appreciate you. Right before we go, I just want to plug in the website, next15podcast.com. We just redesigned it this week, so it's all new, fresh. We even have a review and comment section. If you heard the show tonight, or if you're listening and you hear that you're a listener, please go to the website next15podcast.com and leave us a comment and a review on our page. We'd love to hear from you to see how we're doing. And if nothing else, guys, I think that's going to do it for the Next 15 podcast. This is Trey North, Chris McAllister, and Juan Alaman from the 80s Hour and Wayback Podcast signing off. And we'll see you next Friday at 7 p.m. on the Next 15. This has been a live Next 15 podcast production. For more information on how to advertise your business products or services on our show, or if you're interested in voiceover work, please email us at next15podcast@gmail.com.